there, it's Blue Lily Tea. This video is the first episode of the series I've had an idea for a while, turning blank into dragons, which is the only thing I can really draw. Basically, the premise of this series is I'll be taking either characters from an anime or TV show or book, or inanimate objects, and I'll be giving them a dragon form. Side note, I considered having text on the screen, but thought for my first episode of this I'd do a voiceover. Let me know if you'd rather I do captioning instead, or if you like hearing my voice more. Anyway, for this first episode, I decided to transform characters from my favorite anime, My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero Academia. I mainly chose this because the characters are all super unique and will be easy to draw individual dragons for, as opposed to some animes where the half cast is made up of pale dudes with brown hair. So I'll only be doing half of the main cast of characters because there are just so many. I'm doing the bottom half of the Class 1A roster because it has a good balance of main and side characters. When I decide to make episode 2, I'll do the top half, and maybe as a third episode I'll do some other characters that people like but aren't in this particular grouping of characters. And one more thing before we start, for this particular anime there are a few special rules. In this show, the characters have something called a quirk, and it's basically a superpower that's mostly unique to one character. Since in the anime having wings is a quirk of its own, most of the dragons won't have them. They'll essentially be big lizards. However, if a character has wings in the anime, or if they're just able to fly, I'll be drawing them with wings. For our first dragon, I chose the protagonist of the anime, Deku, Izuku Midoriya calmly well. Somebody else described his personality perfectly, which was, if you turned a puppy into a human being. So I tried to give him that sort of happy, look, I can fly, are you proud? Vibe to his pose. Deku's quirk is called One for All, and it's basically this mishmash of a bunch of other people's quirks in one. One of the quirks inside One for All is called Float, and that lets you float, so Deku gets some wings. There are 3 prominent things in his design, which are big round eyes, floofy hair, and green. So I gave him those 3 things, especially the green. I also modeled his horns off of the little ear thingies from his hero outfit. The next dragon is Katsuki Bakugo, or Kachan. He is Izuku's main rival from all the way back when they were tiny things. He is extremely aggressive, and so I kind of tried to give him an expression and pose that said, "Hi, I'm about to brutally murder you." He is King Explosion Murder, and he can and will blow you up. Speaking of blowing up, his quirk is having sweat that he can detonate at any time. He uses it a lot. So this character has a very orange-green color scheme, and I definitely put that into his design. In his hero outfit, he has these weird head spiky things, which I put on the side of his head and on his tail. It sort of makes him look like a triceratops, but I think it suits him. The third dragon I decided to draw is the third member of the fan-favorite Triforce, Todoroki. The most noticeable thing about him is his hair split thingy, which ties into his quirk, half fire, half ice. Because of this, I literally drew a line down the middle of him and called it good. I also tried to give him a sort of, I'm sad, but if you ask me about it, I'll hurt your feelings expression. Most people love this character. He is the internet's sad Hot Topic cinema roll, and I hope I did him justice. Fourth character, Momo Yaoyorozu. Dear goodness, that was hard to pronounce. Her quirk is that she's able to pull whatever she feels like out of her body, using her body fat, as long as she knows its molecular structure. I couldn't really incorporate that into her design, so I went more with her personality. Momo is super smart and elegant and rich, so I tried to give her a not haughty, but sort of moi and so graceful pose. I gave her a little hair tuft to represent that weird boomerang ponytail she has going on, and also tried to put that shape to her tail fluff. Her scale color is the same color as part of her costume, I'm pretty sure. I don't know why she has goat horns. The fifth character is my personal second favorite, Fumikazu Togumi. He's a bird. That's not even part of his quirk, he literally just has a bird head for no real reason, and I love it. Togumi's quirk is that he has a little demon living inside of him called Dark Shadow. I don't know the Japanese translation, and I don't really feel like learning how to pronounce an extra name. So he wears this cloak thingy, so instead of having to draw legs and a body, I just gave him a black blob cloak, and his demon friend is popping out to say hi. Next up, we have Hantasiro. He has tape elbows. That's about it. This character's forelegs were a pain to draw. I gave him a sort of Spider-Man-esque pose, except emphasis on elbows. I don't think dragons even have elbows. So the only really noticeable thing about his design is lots of triangles. So he ended up having the everyday dragon spiky things, and a little tail thingy. For colors, I just went with yellow and blue because I thought it worked. This next character is one I was absolutely dreading to draw, Mezushoji. His whole thing is that he has these flesh wings, which he can change the ends of to be different limbs. The only way I've ever seen him talk is through the little mouth balls he can make. He always has this mask-looking thing over his mouth, so I gave him that, and also his hair is weirdly angular, so I made his horns all wonky. He also has these little flesh membranes in between his arm thingies, so I gave him those. Yeah, he was definitely one of the weirder ones to draw. Our eighth character, I think, is Kakegujiro. Her quirk is that she has earphone jacks for ears, so I had to grow those. I also tried to give her a sort of circular body, not sure why. The line in the middle of her face is supposed to be reminiscent of her hair shine audio wave thingies. I tried to give her a very emo teen vibe, and ended up making her very purple. Toru Hagakure is invisible. And trash but not least, Minori Minetta. He is a tiny, purple pervert who everybody hates, and you can't blame them. His quirk is these sticky little head orb thingies that he can rip out of his skull and throw. If he throws too many, his head starts to bleed. So I really just made him small, gave him head orbs, and made him purple, and called it a day. Okay, that was all of episode 1 of Turning Blank into Dragons. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I am definitely going to make a second episode finishing up the BNHA cast. If there's any piece of media, or category of things, as in plants, birds, different types of wood, that you'd like to see me turn into a dragon, let me know in the comments. That'll be all. Subscribe maybe. I will see you next time.